In a world that's filled with perpetual chaos and change, it is so lovely knowing that I can always rely on alcohol, too much caffeine, harsh detergents in my laundry, and stress to cause my dermatitis to flare up like crazy. And the first place that goes is the skin around my eyes, which is why it is red, hot, and itchy. And I just don't want my skin to get dry and scaly. This, before you use it, you don't need to like shake it up and down. This is the Avène Thermal Spring Water Spray. I guess I can even say that this is another constant in my life because it works, okay? I've actually read a few different studies that Avène have conducted where a good percentage of people who used this thermal spring water spray on their skin, like help relieved rosacea, the redness in acne, dermatitis, eczema, skin procedures that involve a laser that cause your skin to be red, hot, and irritated. So this is something that I always reach for when my skin gets to this stage because it works. Inner corner, every angle. Move, 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 go, 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 go. It soothes the skin, it calms it down, and most importantly, it feels really nice on the skin. I should also mention that when John and I first started going out, this was literally what one of our first big fights was about. I gifted him a large bottle of thermal spring water because he was getting razor bumps from shaving his skin every single day, like shaving his face. And I gave him this bottle and he literally looked at me and said, "What am I going to do with water in a can?" And I was like, so hurt, by the way, and offended. What he does is he steals it from my beauty room because I use it to dampen my beauty blenders. And he takes it and puts it on his bedside table, which is where I got it, mind you, just there. Anyways, how times change and how I convert people. This feels so good. Can you see how the redness is kind of like going down? Told you it wasn't a gimmick. It feels so much better already. Next, I use the Skin Recovery Cream. I'm sure you're sick of me talking about this product, showing you this product. It's like a warm tea and a blanket for your dermatitis. And I literally put this all over. And the reason why it is so good is because, and I mean no disrespect to Avène and this product, but the ingredients are so basic and what your skin actually needs to repair itself and feel good. Like there's just no fluff to it. It helps relieve like irritable skin, redness, tightness, you know, any sort of sensitivity that you have. Like this is your wingman, wingwoman. I usually use it morning and night, and it's great if you have combination skin as well. It has thermal spring water inside of it and can be used on the skin around the eyes. Oh, I'm just gonna put a little bit extra on my eyes. I've seen online reviews from people who suffer from like psoriasis and eczema and like different types of dermatitis and other like skin sensitivities rave about this moisturizer. Now there are 3 things that you need to remember when putting on your makeup, and the first is to make sure that your tools are properly sanitized and clean. I'm talking about your sponges, your brushes, the actual bristles and handles as well. You want to make sure that your hands are properly sanitized before you start touching your face, and also dipping your hands inside of your makeup products. Next is to choose products that are more natural, organic, and just ingredient conscious, so more mineral makeup. And I know when I say mineral makeup, everybody rolls their eyes and they think of like really shit quality loose pigments and things like that. And no, like mineral makeup has come such a long way. The next thing is to keep the makeup application really light, because too much makeup can actually emphasize and make certain skin conditions look even worse. And I'm pretty sure if you're wearing makeup, you're trying to do the opposite thing, you know? But it's really, really easy to go overboard. So I'm going to show you like what products I use and how I use them. Just FYI, I'm going to use my sponge and also my phalanges a lot when doing my makeup today. So I always like to wet my sponge with my thermal spring water. It's something that I've always done and will continue to do because I love it. Now that your sponge is nice and moist, you can apply your base products. I have 3 like foundations that I like to use when my skin is a little more tender. The first one is the Josie Marin Vibrancy Foundation. I love the foundation. I love the concealer. I love the brand founder. I just think she's amazing. And I really like to use this one. The shade that I use is Cosmic G15. This is really good. I also really like the RMS Beauty Uncover Up Cream Foundation. And the shade that I use is number 22. This one's a really, really nice formula. And the next one is the Avène. I rubbed off the writing because I've used this so much. Tinted Compact Cream. I use it all the time. And this is like a really nice tinted cream compact that has like the thermal spring water and all of your skin loving ingredients in there just to help with more problematic skin types. So I'm going to use a combination of this and also the RMS Beauty, but I'm going to use this around my eyes since you know, that's where I have a lot of my problems, a lot of my issues. And the coverage on this is really good. It's really, really amazing. It's super lightweight. It literally feels like, I don't know, like a really lightweight moisturizer. And I just bounce it in. And the reason why I use sponges and, you know, I'm going to use my fingers as well is because brushes cause like micro exfoliation and they can cause even more irritation to the skin. I also find that brushes pick up a little bit too much product. So the aim of this makeup look is to use a very minimal amount of product and only having to use like very full coverage, heavier products in small, strategically placed areas around the face so that we don't really draw any attention to any problem areas. I'm going to dip into the RMS Uncover Up Cream Foundation. The reason why I mention like alcohol, caffeine, soaps and detergents, and most importantly stress being like one of the main reasons why my skin flares up is because I want to remind you guys as well to keep an eye out on what certain things trigger your skin to flare up, whether it be acne, psoriasis, dermatitis, like things that you do on the daily that contribute to your skin misbehaving. For me, it is really important to choose products from brands that are very ingredient and fragrant conscious. So a lot of the brands that I'm going to show you, even like my colored cheek and lip and eye products, they're going to be, again, very ingredient conscious. So I have the Ilia Color Haze Multi-Matte Pigment in the shade Stunner. If you have dry skin, dermatitis, psoriasis, eczema, anything else, cream cosmetics are just like your best bet. Powder is just going to emphasize the dryness, the texture, and cream products give the skin like this well-hydrated, glowy look that no powder formula could ever mimic and replicate, in my opinion. You can always use like your sponge to like finish the job off to ensure like, you know, the blush and all the pigmented colors and products have meshed well with your base. I then like to take a cream contour product. Again, this is from like a very ingredient conscious makeup brand. This is one of my favorites actually. It's the Westman Atelier Face Trace Contour Stick in the shade Biscuit. Need I say more? Look at this color. I'm gonna use my hand as a palette. Use it on my socket, just a little bit. A contour product, something that's creamy and ashy, helps to kind of hide any redness. Do you see how even if you had a little bit of redness close to the base of your lashes, you can easily disguise it with cream contour? The reason why I use face products and not cream eye formulas is because creamy eye formulas, like the formula's a little bit too drying on the skin. And voila, that is almost the face done. There are 1 or 2 more steps, I can't remember. But I'm gonna show you how to deal with dermatitis on the skin underneath your brows. I personally don't like brow pencils that are very soft, because soft formulas can often create a very blocky, heavy brow if you don't have a light hand. However, if you have dry skin, your skin is flaking, it's uncomfortable, it's tight, they actually work beautifully through the brows. So my 2 favorites for when my skin is not behaving, this is the Hourglass Arch Brow Micro Sculpting Pencil in the shade Ash. Not only is the crown itself super soft, but the spoolie on the end is one of the more softer spoolies that I have experienced. Usually a lot of them are very, very hard and it feels like you're exfoliating your skin. So this is really like light and kind of airy and soft on the skin. So it's really, really nice to use. So you just feel it on the hairs and not on the skin itself. Another pencil that I really, really like is the Hourglass Arch Brow Sculpting Pencil. So this is a thicker pencil and it has an even thicker spoolie on the end. And this is like one of the softest spoolies I have ever used. It's super gentle on the brows, on the hairs, on the skin. And I know a lot of people aren't like a big fan of pencils that, you know, look like this, but it makes doing your brows so easy. It creates a really soft brow look, and the actual formulation of the crown or pencil is really, really soft and quite forgiving on textured skin, which is super important if you're dealing with dry skin or any sort of like sensitivity and irritation on the skin underneath the brows. Just gonna finish my lips. Keep it very light and fresh. Now my favorite powder of all time is the By Terry Hydra Powder. And it is very, very expensive, I am well aware. But when my skin is playing up, that is my first choice. Now another one that is still a little pricey, but really, really beautiful and smoothing and not over drying on sensitive skin is the Veil, you know, loose translucent powder. I'm actually going to take my finger and set the crease of my eye. Just taking the excess product and dabbing it on my wrist, and I guess spreading the product out a little more evenly on the surface of my finger before pressing it in. using a brush, even, you know, those really expensive soft ones that I have, because it just irritates the eyes. It just causes me to want to itch and scratch at my eyes, which is something that you don't want. Now I'm just going to do the same using 2 fingers now, taking the bulk of the powder on your wrist, on the back of your hand, wherever, and just using it to set underneath my eyes. I mean, you can use a sponge, you can use a puff, but I just find that it picks up a little too much product. After you've used clean fingers to set around any like problem areas on the skin, you can then actually take your sponge or a puff and use the usual amount of powder everywhere else. As a gloss, like a highlighter or skin illuminator, I actually like to use a lip mask. This is the Bite Beauty Agave Lip Treatment. And I like to just dab it right on the tops of my cheeks. And the reason why I like this is because as a dry skin type, my skin literally absorbs everything. And over a couple of hours, you can't really see a lot of like the cream and liquid like highlighters and illuminators that I have on my skin. But it actually takes a really long time for my skin to absorb this balm. So that is basically how I deal with making like my bone dry skin look glossy, but at the same time it keeps this part of my face, which always gets sunburnt, always hits the sun first because I've got high cheekbones. It always keeps this area hydrated and it stops it from drying out as well, which is great. When you have a skin condition, the best way to approach it is the no fluff approach. No like frou-frou skincare, no like frou-frou products, just shave it down. Keep it to like the bare minimum essentials. Thanks for watching, guys.